Hearst Corporation traces its origins to March 4, 1887, when 23-year-old William Randolph Hearst placed his name on the masthead of the San Francisco Examiner with the title of proprietor. The Examiner had been owned by William's father, George Hearst, a California rancher and miner whose interests tended more towards politics than newspapers. After George Hearst was elected a U.S. Senator in 1886, he turned the newspaper over to his son. The younger Hearst assumed the responsibilities of both editor and publisher and quickly transformed the State Examiner into what he called the monarch of the dailies. He bought the most advanced printing equipment of the day, dramatically redesigned the newspaper's look, and hired the best journalists he could find. Within a few years, the new Examiner was a runaway success and would point to a new era of American journalism. Hearst purchased a second newspaper on the East Coast, the New York Journal, in 1895. Soon he would start newspapers in Chicago, Los Angeles, and Boston. And by the 1920s, Hearst had 28 newspapers nationwide. Read by 1 out of 4 Americans, Hearst newspapers pioneered innovations such as multiple color presses, wire syndication, and the first color comic sections. Hearst also branched out into the burgeoning magazine industry, launching Motor Magazine in 1903. Over the next 10 years, he would acquire such legendary titles as Cosmopolitan, Good Housekeeping, and Harper's Bazaar. In 1928, Hearst Magazines built its international headquarters on 8th Avenue in New York City. Moving beyond the medium of print, Hearst soon began producing newsreels in partnership with European film company Pathé. In 1929, Hearst formed a separate production company, Hearst Metrotone News, to produce them worldwide.
This is Edwin C. Hill speaking, Globetrotter for Hearst Metrotone News.
Hearst moved into radio broadcasting in the 1920s, and in 1948, Hearst became the owner of one of the first television stations in the country, WBAL-TV in Baltimore. By mid-century, Hearst had built one of the world's largest media companies. After William Randolph Hearst's death in 1951, the corporation forged ahead, continuing to diversify and expand its operations. In the 1980s, Hearst became a founding partner in cable television's Lifetime and A&E networks, and soon also acquired a 20% interest in ESPN. In 1997, the corporation joined the leading ranks of group television broadcasters with the formation of Hearst Argyle Television. Hearst Magazines made news of its own in 2000 with its most successful launch in the company's history, the Oprah Magazine, a venture with Harpo Entertainment Group. In 2005, Hearst's real estate division worked with the state of California and its conservation partners to preserve the historic 82,000-acre Hearst Ranch in San Simeon, one of the largest land conservation transactions in California's history. A year later, in 2006, Hearst Corporation opened its spectacular new global headquarters, Hearst Tower. Perched atop Hearst's original 1928 magazine company building, the 46-story skyscraper has been hailed as the greenest office building ever built in New York. Today, Hearst Corporation continues its founder's enterprising spirit. Hearst's major interests include respected daily and weekly newspapers across the nation, nearly 200 magazines around the world, one of America's largest television station groups, joint interests in leading cable networks, as well as a growing number of information technology and syndication businesses. Each day at Hearst, nearly 20,000 people are at work helping to inform, entertain, and inspire an audience of millions worldwide.